So we're talking about changing some narratives today, and I'm going to change a narrative for you guys with your health. And I think I'm going to share some things with you that are going to surprise you and shock you and make you angry. So I didn't know what kind of crowd I was talking to today, so
You're a walker talker.
I kind of am, yeah. So I didn't include everything in my slideshow that I wanted to include. But as I was listening to everybody, I decided y'all were tough, and maybe you needed to see a little bit of truth so that you'd understand why you were getting sick. And so at the end, I'm going to pop up and give you guys a bit of an explanation of some things. But literally, while everybody was talking, I'm glad I brought my laptop this morning or today, because I was literally back there dumping images to my jump drive so we could plug it up here for you guys, because y'all are serious about wanting to know the truth. So,
Just want the truth.
yeah, well, that doesn't happen very often, so I'm glad. All right, so we do want to change.
Truth will set you free.
That's right. So we really do want to change the narrative when it comes to our health. We want to revitalize, and we want to do that through holistic health. So I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about me. I am a child of God first and foremost, unapologetically. I'm a wife and a mom, business owner, master's design, holistic health solutions in Culpeper since 2014. Board certified in holistic nutrition, certified in brain health coaching, as well as energy kinesiology. I've been married to my wonderful husband for 35 years. I've got 4 kids, and we're empty nesters. I love that life. I love my kids, but I love being an empty nester. I love Jesus and my country, in that order. And I love holistic health, and I almost popped pickleball on the beach, over there, right below Jesus, but no. With this crowd, I'm going to say my country, but anyhow, pickleball comes pretty close to that. All right, so let me just tell you, this is the current narrative. And I'm telling you what, listening to you guys, there is no hope. Man, it's a tough world out there. It's pretty scary. But I think, and you'll see as we go through this talk, where we have to kind of keep our minds set as we're working through and trying to make the changes we have to make. But anyhow, this is the current narrative. There is no hope, we have no control, we have no options, we have no energy, there is no other way. For my talk today, this is the narrative that I hear in the health area. So I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about me. So I was actually living what our current narrative is, that's what I was living. So I, from about I'll say mid-30s, was living in chronic pain. I was living on Vicodin. I had a pain doctor that I saw very regularly, about once a month. And my blood work was perfect, perfect weight. I looked like the healthiest person that was out there, but I was constantly in pain. He had burned nerves in my neck. We were getting nowhere. And he says, you're way too young to be living on painkillers. Something is wrong. We're missing something. We've got to keep digging. And so I'd had no injuries, no reason for me to have chronic pain. After many, many tests, what came back finally was if you guys are familiar with this, but it's a DEXA scan, and that is basically I had late stages osteoporosis. I had a T-score of like a -0.3. I don't know if any of you women have ever had a DEXA scan. But basically I had the bones of an 85-year-old, and I felt like it. So he had sent me then to an my hormone doctor, there you go. And basically the only option for me was to be on shots for the osteoporosis. And I could only do shots for 5 years. And then after the shots, there was really nothing they could do, and there was a good probability that it was going to start rotting out my jaw. So I knew, standing in that office, that was not an option for me. What was I going to do? Here I am, I was about 40 at that point by the time we finally found it. Here I was 40 years old. What was I going to do at 45 when I could no longer take the treatment? So that was really a turning point for me. I knew that I had to find a way to stop the disease that was happening in my body. So osteoporosis is an autoimmune disease where the body is attacking itself, and my body was attacking my bones. So this put me on basically a 10-year journey of healing, and I needed to heal in every area, physically, mentally, and spiritually. So we need to change the narrative. And, God actually, I love that this is a a God-honoring group. And I love to hear you say that God literally speaks to you. I love that because I don't hear that very often, but God speaks very clearly to me. And he told me a couple of months ago that I really needed to start getting my message out to Christian leaders. And I'm going to tell you why. We've got to be revitalized, right? We have got to be permeated with life and vitality. We've got such a job to do. We're sick, we're tired, we're burned out, right? So we've got to be revitalized. And leaders, who's a leader? You might sit here and say, well, I'm not sure I'm a leader. Everybody's a leader. If you guide someone with positive influence, you're a leader. I don't care if you're a grandma, a grandpa, a mom, a dad, a Sunday school teacher. It doesn't matter what you are. You're a leader. But obviously, I believe everybody in this room, if you didn't have some type of leadership capacity or desire, you would not be here. So what I'm going to get ready to talk to you guys about, let me just tell you, here is a physical result if you say, well, this is not for me. First of all, if you want to be void of vital energy, then it's not for you. If you want to be in pain, it's not for you. If you're happy with our current medical system, it's not for you. I'm pretty sure, based on how happy everybody is with our judicial system, you're probably about just as unhappy with our medical system. If you don't see the need for change, then this is not for you. And if you're okay with just living on pharmaceutical medications until the end of your life, then this is not for you either. If you don't, and so let's talk about how that's going to impact your actual impact on society. So if you don't want to be a part of the change that the world needs, this is not for you. If you don't want to be the best that you can be, this is not for you. If you don't desire to have maximum influence, this is not for you. And if you don't want to make a difference in other people's lives, then this is not for you. Basically, this is a small group, but I'm telling you guys, if you will listen to what I'm telling you, we can start and you can change and you can transform your life starting today. And I want to be part of that transformation for anybody who's ready. So the fact that you are here tells me that you do have a desire to influence, have some kind of influence in your part of the world. You guys are world changers, you're game changers. But here's the problem. We have to have energy, we have to have stamina, right? We got to be able to go the distance. We've got to have resilience to be the leader that's going to have maximum impact. So there are 3 areas that we need to focus on, and we need to remove barriers to ensure that we have plenty of energy, stamina, and resilience. All right, so I am a holistic health practitioner. I am not a nutritionist. It's very different. A nutritionist is trained in the medical capacity. So I'm about as holistic as you're going to get, but that's how I work really hard to help my clients for their bodies to heal. So let me tell you guys and give you a description of what holistic health is. So holistic health is about caring for the whole person. We are uniquely complex individuals consisting of 3 aspects: spiritual, mental, and it's really 4, but I love my 3 circles. So I will tell you, I kind of work in my office with the mental and emotional together, so that's why I combine it as one. And then the physical. Our design from our creator, the way he created us, is absolutely awe-inspiring. Holistic health is rooted in the understanding that all of these aspects work together and they affect your overall health. So being unwell in one aspect profoundly affects you in all the other aspects. And then thirdly, holistic health is a lifestyle. So what you do on a daily basis to tend to every aspect of yourself will determine the condition of your overall wellness. All right, so again, I just want to address some things before I get into a little more detail. You might be thinking, I don't have time for this. That's great for you, but it won't work for me. I've been to every doctor, I've tried everything out there, nothing works. I've had these issues my whole life, nothing is ever going to change. I can't afford it. My family won't support me in this. I hear so many excuses. All right, and if that's kind of the things you're thinking, you're no different than I was. But I decided to do, when I got that, when I came back from the visit with the endocrinologist and knew that the pharmaceutical was my only option and it was a temporary option that was literally going to make me sicker, That was my turning point. I knew I had to make a commitment to myself. I had to take action to create a better future. And this is what you guys would have to do too. You'd have to be coachable. I had to be coachable. I had to learn a whole lot. I had to be focused on progress, not perfection. And I had to let go of a whole lot of self-doubt. All right, so the secret to health and to impact is ordered living. Okay, so these are the big three. So your spiritual aspect has got to be the number one thing. And I'm actually going to expound on this in a little bit. It's just a little bit of overview. And then, of course, mental, and it's really mental and emotional. And the physical aspects, you cannot work with the physical and not work with the mental. You cannot work with the mental and not work with the physical. All right, so here I'm going to talk about the the spiritual aspect here for a minute. There are two types of people, in my mind. There are pre-Christians and there are Christians. I've heard the term so many times, well, they're non-Christians. I don't believe that because I believe God loves everybody. He wants everyone to come into a knowledge of Him and His Son. So I've changed that terminology to pre-Christians. I'm not ever going to give up the hope. So we have pre-Christians and Christians. So if you are a pre-Christian, if you don't know the Lord, and have not met Him as your personal Lord and Savior, this is what I want to tell you. God loves you with an endearing, everlasting love that you will never on this earth be able to comprehend. Amen. He desperately wants to be in a relationship with you. And if you ask Him, He will reveal Himself to you if you seek Him. And I'm pretty sure, just by the reaction of a couple of people in here, if there's anybody in here that does not know the Lord, please come talk to me. Come talk to someone else that maybe can help you in this area, because it would be the best decision you've ever made in your life. Amen. So, if you are a Christian, I want to tell you, you are a dearly, dearly loved child of God. You are an heir to the throne of the God of the universe. God gave me two really clear purposes. And one is to let you guys know that you are royalty, okay? So I just want you to know that you are royalty, and you need to view yourself that way. And then I also want to tell you that I'm also here to help people but empower them to be well. So I want to illuminate royalty, bring light to the fact that you are royalty, and then also empower you to be well. You were created for a purpose. Listen, everybody has their purpose. There's so many more people that need to be in this room, right? There's so many people that need to be in my arena. We've all been created for a purpose. We all have a message that we need to get out there. And this is the last thing I want to expound on, and I'm going to take just an extra minute on this. Because for you guys who have been in church for any length of time, and it sounds like probably a lot of you have been, you've heard this and you know this, just like with the pre-Christians, even for Christians, that God will reveal Himself to you if you seek Him. And I just want to tell you guys, my message is so deep in my soul, because I'll tell you a little bit about me. I was raised in church, taught junior high Sunday school for 10 years, kept church nursery every third Sunday for 20 years. One thing you can say about Rick and Sandy Combs is we were consistent. Like, we always did the right thing. But about 6 years ago, sitting on my back deck, I cried out to the Lord, and I said, God, if you're really that real God that I have been teaching kids and teaching VBS and leading women's Bible studies, if you're really that God, I want to know you. Because I'm really tired of showing up to church and doing the right thing and doing everything out there that the church tells me to do, but I am worn out, I'm burned out, I'm exhausted, and I'm tired, and I'm done. So I'm tired of church people, I'm tired of people, right? I was hurt, exhausted. When you devote your life to something, So I called out to God, I said, if you're real, man, you need to show yourself to me. Let me just tell you guys, and this is why my favorite thing in this whole slide, I'm going to challenge every one of you. If you think you know the God of the universe, you don't know Him. Unless you have cried out and said, God, show me who you are. Because God set my path on a beautiful journey over the last 6 years. And listen, if you guys ask Him that, your journey is going to look very different from mine, because He's going to meet you right where you are, and He's going to reveal His beautiful qualities to you. so that you will walk in such joy and such peace like you have never known, despite everything that's happening in our government and in our medical system and in our world. You will find a deep, abiding peace that is in Him alone. And so that's honestly the main message I want to give you guys today, okay? But we're going to dig in a lot more. All right. This is a tough one, guys, after being in this room. I got to be honest, right? We got a couple of options here. Two mindsets. We can be in penthouse level thinking, right? So think about a penthouse. Who's ever been to the beach? Is anybody beach lovers here at all? Anybody ever been to the beach and you're kind of walking out on the beach and you look up and you see, like a really nice resort area and the very top floor and it's all glass windows and you think, wow, can't afford to stay there, right? I wonder what they do to make the kind of money to stay in a place like that, right? What is it? It's beautiful, it's gorgeous, it's the most sought after place, the most expensive with the most decorations, right? It's the best place to be. Do you see the middle there? The average person has 12,000 thoughts a day, and approximately 95 of those are negative. Wow. And so we have penthouse level thinking and basement level thinking. Guys, our thoughts are making us just as sick as some of the other things I'm going to get ready to talk to you guys about on the physical level. Yep. So this is what I would say, because this is what I have to do every morning. Sitting in this room, we know how corrupt, and honestly, this has been very eye-opening for me because I never realized, my husband tells me all the time about how corrupt the government is, but just to hear, and the last woman that spoke, my mind is just blown, and I'm brokenhearted for the corruptness of what is happening, okay? So what I want to say is I kind of sit here, and there was this reality, and I say, Lord, how do we stay in penthouse level thinking, right? But what does the scripture say? Philippians 5:8. We got to think on the good things, right? God knows how He created us. If we're constantly dwelling on the bad things, we are going to be sick. So this is what I would say, because this is what I do every morning of my life. Lord, how do I think on those things in this world that I live in? Can only do it. You're going to empower me. I still want to be effective. I still have a message I need to give. We're still got to give truth, but we got to give truth in love. And I believe that God will teach us how to walk in this life, in this world, in the corruptness of it, but still find a way to stay in penthouse level thinking. And that's only going to be through His strength and through the power of His Spirit, because in our own, we can't do it, because we're going to put ourselves in a pit so deep. So if anybody has really great, how they keep this all straight in their mind, I'm a brain health coach. I got some ideas, but some heavy stuff. So I just want to challenge you guys. Don't minimize the importance of the mental thinking, especially because you guys are in the trenches. You're willing to do the fighting. So you've got to figure out how to do that in a way that you have still total peace. All right, so here we go. This is what I do day in and day out. So for the physical aspect, I will tell you guys this. Several months ago, too, God spoke very clearly into me. Dana, you and I haven't even talked about this. But God spoke very clearly into me that, Sandy, you're completely surrendered to me and my mission for your life, and you spend all day talking about these things to people. However, the spiritual order that I just talked about, He said, that needs to come first, because if these people that are coming to see you day in and day out, if they are not healthy on a spiritual level, they will never be healthy on the mental level, they will never be healthy on the emotional level, and they will never be healthy on the physical level. So in my personal life, in my office, we have a huge transition, because yes, I'm a secular holistic health office, but I don't care. And I don't care who comes, and I don't care who does not come. And what I know, that God will bring me the people that I need to see, and the people that are not going to come, that's okay too. So sorry, I just had to throw a little piece in, but let me go back to the physical aspect. Guys, our bodies are so toxic. We are like these toxic buckets, and we're just filling up, and we're overflowing into symptoms and illnesses, and I'm going to dig into that in a little bit deeper. But basically what I do is I methodically assist the body in removing toxins. I have a very proprietary system that I use to do that. We do that in our office through proper nutrition, Food can be medicine. Food can help your body to heal and repair. You just have to know what the proper nutrition for your body is. And then also we work with mindsets and the emotional aspect and the mental aspect. You've got to harness the power of your thoughts. Again, that's got to be done even in the situation that we're in our world. So I just want to talk for a minute about, I want this to really get you guys really mad and irritated. I want to talk a little about our current, you're already there. Well, let's go. So let's add our health system into our judicial system. So this is our problem. We don't have a health care system. We have a sick care system. Has anybody ever been to their doctor who has taught them how to be healthy? No. We have a symptom management system. You have a symptom, give me a pill. Cut my body, cut something out, right? We have a disease-promoting system. All of these things make us sicker. I got to tell you guys, I know people have to be on pharmaceuticals. I get it. But if you have another option, if you can find another way, the pharmaceuticals are contributing to your disease. All right. This is very disturbing. Any harm, so we're going to talk about the number one cause of death is the iatrogenic, basically iatrogenics, okay? So any harm or adverse effect that is caused by a medical treatment or healthcare intervention, that is the definition of iatrogenic. So that includes unintentional, and it results from medical errors, complications of medical procedures and treatments, adverse reactions caused by medication and side effects, and surgical complications. And that's what we've all are signing up for. This is the current state of health, and I'm going to blow y'all's mind. Disease begins long before the symptoms, okay? So you've got heart disease, 20 to 40 years before someone has heart disease. The symptoms, the toxins that caused that has been in their body. Cancer, 15 to 20 years before a diagnosis, that sickness has started. Alzheimer's, 30 to 50 years. So I see clients all day long. And let me tell you what, so I got this, I just came back from a holistic health conference a couple of weeks ago, and it was phenomenal. And I popped this slide in there because it came from that. But let me tell you something, in my reality, I see sickness that begins in utero. It's just unbelievable, and I'm going to share something with you guys at the very end. All right. So you are being taken hostage well before you know it, and it never sets you free unless you choose. I was taken hostage. I was living in pain, and I was a hostage to that until I decided to do something different. So this is just an idea of the costs, right? So look at the top 5 diseases. Average cost per patient per year. And you see those numbers. And look at our insurance situation in this country. It is the most ridiculous racket, the amount of money that people are paying for the small amount of coverage that they are getting. And if you want to get decent coverage, you're paying ridiculous amounts of money. My husband is a business owner as well, and he was just telling me he's actually getting ready to cancel our insurance because our insurance is getting ready to cost us upwards of about $2,500 a month. And I've been telling him for a couple years now that I've been on this path is cancel the stupid stuff because I'm not going to those doctors. If God takes me home, he takes me home. Like I'm going to heal my own body. So he's there. He said, that's right, we're not up in January because this is ridiculous. All right, so the cost is way more than you want to spend. Physically, mentally, emotionally, and financially. How many of you guys have family members who are either mentally, physically working through a disease or have died from disease states? Probably every single person in this room, right? It's absolutely devastating. All right, so we have 2 models. We have our traditional model. Our traditional model treats the symptoms. They use drugs and surgery. It's basically a one-size-fits-all. It is a very reactive system. You are the patient. It emphasizes genetic predisposition. Well, it's in my genes. My grandpa had this. My great-grandpa had this. My dad had this, right? You're sick, but you just kind of ignore your symptoms, you ignore everything that's happening until you can't ignore it anymore. It's expensive, and you're the victim. Why don't you look at the true health model? We look at root causes and prevention. We look at lifestyle changes, cellular healing, detoxification, customized and personalized. I won't tell you how many, but I've got a lot of clients. And every single program that I put together for my clients is completely customized and personalized. We are very unique individuals. I do not have 2 clients that have the same program. We are very proactive. Instead of being a patient, you're a participant. And this is the one I love that can give so much hope. Instead of genetic predisposition, we look at the epigenetic control, okay? Meaning there are things that you can do to change the expression of your genes. And it's all in lifestyle choices. So instead of ignoring what's going to happen, we can look at what's happening with someone, and we can predict, we can save money, and then, like I said, one of my purposes in life is just to empower people to be well. All right, so now I want to ask you guys, do you or someone that you love suffer from one of these top 5 metabolic diseases? Cancer, heart disease, strokes, Alzheimer's, diabetes. Hey, so do y'all know that Alzheimer's is now diabetes type 3? How sad is it with this Alzheimer's epidemic that it is 100% can be controlled with blood sugar regulation? It's pretty scary and pretty sad. Diabetes. Type 2 diabetes is a blood sugar problem based in our modern American diet. Does anyone in here suffer from any of these? Gout, high cholesterol, high blood pressure, pre-diabetic, autoimmune diseases? All right, so maybe a lot of you have not moved into that place yet. However, there's something called metabolic imbalances. Metabolic imbalance is the first step towards disease. So what about any of these? Anybody have fatigue? Is anybody getting sick over and over again? Repetitive illness? Pain and inflammation? Asthma? Difficulty sleeping? Pain in your hip, your knees, your back? Arthritis, hormonal imbalances, digestive upset, headaches, migraines, brain fog, so common. Anxiety, depression, skin sensitivities, things coming out of your skin. I just want to tell you guys, there is a better way. So just ask yourself, am I feeling achy, tired, burned out, depressed, anxious, stressed and frustrated? Can I even imagine what my life would be like if I had energy, stamina, and resilience? Wouldn't it feel good to be able to show up for the people in my life that need me and love me? And then, what price are you guys willing to pay to not take action? Basically, what I'm challenging you to is you need to take a holistic approach. You've got to address the underlying causes. You've got to focus on prevention. And you can do that by a couple of things. You've got to detox, you've got to use proper nutrition, and you've got to upgrade your mindset. So I'm almost done, but I do need Dana to come back because I'm going to show you guys something. I'm going to get a little graphic on you. I'm going to go back till he comes back. I want to go back to just expound a little bit on detoxification. So I help people detox from, oh good, yay, thank you, Barbara. I help people detox from a lot of things. So we uncover food sensitivities, but then we detox from immune challenges. So bacterias, viruses, funguses, parasites, heavy metals, chemicals. And then we teach people how to eat and how to have a healthy mindset. I'm going to go back to the detoxification here in a minute, because a couple of y'all might say, oh yeah, I've detoxed. Let me just tell you, just because you take some kind of detox remedy that you buy off of Amazon, you have not detoxed. And I'm going to expound on that here in a minute. All right, so we would love to help you to revitalize. It is our mission to help leaders create energy, stamina, and resilience so they can have maximum impact in the world that God has called them to. We like to help you increase productivity and prevent future disease. We'd educate you on the things that will transform your health and help you get your life back. We customize a comprehensive solution for you. We will help you understand what has been holding you back from creating a transformation in your own life. And we will help you access a new future for yourself that you would never otherwise be able to access. So I just want to ask you, what are you going to do with this information today? Will you guys change your narrative, as I chose to change mine, because change requires action? This is our mission statement for our office. We support our clients on their journey to restore and maintain optimal physical, mental, emotional, spiritual health using a natural, non-medicated approach, and we empower them to enjoy God's design for well-being. So I told you I help detox a lot of things. Like, I know how to help people move junk out of their body, okay? I'm a master at it. Sorry, I'm a little bit not cocky, but I'm very confident in what I do. I'm going to show you some pictures of some things that have come out of my body and some clients' bodies. So you can, if you want to go back one. These are parasites. They are very real. Dana, I don't know if he's in here. He did not know I was going to show this. Like I said, I didn't know I was going to show it either. Okay, just keep going. You can just do the next one. Okay, so go back. There's about a couple of them. You keep going. Go up. Okay, so just so you know, that's 29 inches. It's the diameter of a snake. That was one I personally dumped. Okay, so yeah, keep going. There's more. That was one other dumping, but anyhow. The reason I'm putting these in here is I know how to help people detox. This is one facet of a detox. So I know it's really gross. There's one other thing I want to do. Oh, there. Okay, we got to show this. I'll come back to those, but you got to see this. I love this. So clients send me things all the time, and I love this. So my computer wasn't working the other day in the office. I was having issues, and so they were there, and I said, yeah, my husband always tells me if the computer stops working, just unplug it, plug it back in, right? So my client sent me this later. I thought you guys would really appreciate it. I popped it on my jump drive when I was sitting back there. Has anyone tried to unplugging the United States and plugging it back in? So don't we wish it was that simple? All right, so that's good. That's all I have. But I want to just share with you guys, and this is where I get very angry, and we should too, because I don't want to freak y'all out, but that crap that came out of my body and my clients' bodies is in all of y'all's bodies. Okay? People think that things like parasites are a third world country. They are not. They are here. Okay? I have a very good friend and mentor who is a retired anesthesiologist. And I've asked him, he's been in the operating room of, many, many people. And I said, Joseph, you got to tell me, dude, I've passed no less than 50 to 75 of these things. I got tired of counting them, okay? And I said, you've been in the operating room. Do you not ever see these things in the people's bodies? And he's like, I've never seen them, and I'm angry because they are lying to me. There is no way on God's earth that they can cut out someone's intestines and not see what is causing that person to be sick. These things live, guys, in our digestive tract and in our small intestine and our large intestine. There's no way they can't see these things. The medical system has to know they're there. I have a client that I didn't know she was going to do this, but she passed a substantially large parasite. She took it to her doctor. And it was, sorry, I don't mean to be graphic, but I'm going to be graphic because everybody has their passion about things and how we're being lied to and how our lives are being destroyed and nobody is doing anything about it. She took it in a little container, took it into her doctor, and I'll just tell you this. It was, sorry to be graphic, but this is what I do, so it is what it is. It was not a bunch of stool with a parasite in it. It was a parasite, very clearly. She brought it to me. I said, put the lid on that. That stinks. Get that out of here. It was a parasite that had maybe a little bit of brown covering over it, but it was very clear like those in the shape that it was. And she took it to her doctor, which I didn't even know she was doing that. They sent it off to Johns Hopkins. She got a letter back from Johns Hopkins stating, we found nothing of parasitic nature in your stool. She was livid. right? So, with that said, we've got funguses, we've got bacterias, we've got all these things in our body, but I can't show you pictures of those because I can't see them, right? They're microscopic, you cannot see them. So, but the parasites you can see. And so for me, God told me and my office staff back months ago, you guys have got to start sounding the alarm because nobody knows this. They have no idea what's going on. But this is what's making people sick. They have now proven, they've looked at eggs of parasites and put it under a microscope, and it's the same as cancer cells. They've linked it to osteoporosis. The parasites eat the lining of your bone. So at least I finally have an answer as to why I was so sick. They've linked it to MS. Guys, we're a sick society, and you cannot I have no way to prove it. I'm not in the medical field, but I know from the reality of what you saw up there and what I've seen come out of my body and out of clients' bodies, there is no way on earth that the medical community does not know that this is in existence. And I would like to know this one thing, if anybody could give me an answer. Why in the world do we do antiparasitic medication for our animals? Ivermectin. Do you know why that works for COVID? Yeah, because there's parasitic element, right, that ramps up with the COVID virus. Why is it that we do that for our animals, but we don't do that for our children and for ourselves?
Because our animals listen.
Yeah. Anyhow, that's kind of out of order with the way I did the parasites. I just, you know what, like I said, I wasn't going to do that, but I just felt like you guys were a group that, like, you're just ready to hear the truth. And I've never shown those pictures, by the way, in a public setting. So, yeah, just what I would say is we've got to start telling people because they've got to know that there's a different way, there's a better way. Anyhow, I'm done. So thank you guys.